Piece of advice that I would give, and this might be more of a personal preference, but I've always been a big picture type of person, and it's been important to me to understand how something that I'm learning on a given day fits into the larger context of the course. And this goes to something that Helen mentioned earlier as well. Clearly trying to communicate to the students, especially up front, what the arc of the course is and how things fit together. And I do take 2 minutes at the start of every lecture to say, this is what we covered last class, bam, 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 this is what we're going to cover this class, and then at the very end, I'll say something quick about what we'll do in the next one.
Yeah.
I find that to be useful.
I would echo what you said about describing the arc of the course. It's really helpful for students to understand, where they're going to be going. And to be honest, many students don't read the syllabus, so you've taken quite a bit of time to write a paragraph about what they're going to be learning and the learning objectives, but you might want to explicitly read those in class, or talk about how, we're having this lecture today, and this fits within this sort of part of the conceptual framework for this course. And I would do that. I would start to describe the arc at the beginning, and I would actually wrap up the end of the course with that as well. And I find that students don't realize yet what it is that they've learned over the course of the semester, because they're focused in on the one assessment, the one paper, the one exam, but really there's a lot of stuff that they've learned by the end of the semester, or at least you can gauge whether that's the case, and you say, this is what I hope to have imparted to you. So I would say the conceptual framework for the course and describing that to the students is very important. And the last thing I'm going to say, and I have not been paid to say this, is that the Center for Teaching and Learning, I've utilized this program a lot, and it has helped a lot. You can come with your specific questions, and they really can help you brainstorm in a way that fits really well with your own personal teaching style, how to address certain stumbling blocks that you have. So I highly encourage that you use any seminars that they have. just find time to fit that in your schedule, or make an individual appointment. I have found that I've learned a lot, and I had taught already for 15, 20 years by the time I walked into Columbia, and I wasn't thinking that there was so much more to learn, and there really is.
I mean, I think that I was thinking about it. The students are really nice, and they're the odd students that aren't, but they really are in the minority, and don't become fixated with them. And then the other advice is when you get your first course evaluation, do whatever it is that's going to relax you first. So if it's like a large drink, or go for a run, or whatever, do a yoga class, and then don't fixate on those 1 or 2 people who really hated your class, and they were always going to be there. But read with the sort of idea of, how can I improve? When I've got my first course evaluations here, because people are deeply honest here. In South Africa, they were very polite. And I was devastated. I mean, I just wanted to curl up and die. So just have a drink and read them. But the students are great.
I'll echo the learn their names advice, and I don't learn them before they walk in the door, though. That's impressive. But I do have them make table tents, and I sit there and practice, and then there's the photo roster on your Canvas page, so you can study. And then I usually give myself a couple of weeks, and then I expect that I've learned their names, and they really appreciate it. I get that feedback from them all the time. Thank you for learning our names. It makes a huge difference. And a second piece of advice, sort of as a prelude to the dreaded course evaluations, one thing I've really started to do in all of my classes, not in a big lecture, although I think you could do it in a big lecture if you did it carefully, is a mid-semester brief feedback opportunity. And not only does it give you a little reflection, what's working or what's not working, it also helps them feel heard. And it gives me an opportunity to reflect back to them what I've heard from them. So I always use index cards, and I have them write on one side of the index card, how's class going for you? And on the other side, a piece of advice or feedback that they would like to give me, so that they're reporting on their own experience and they're giving feedback on my performance. And it's low key, it's 5 minutes at the end of class on an index card, and they hand it. And then the next class I'm able to come in and say, that was really helpful. You know, some of you are struggling with the reading being too difficult, but others of you are finding the reading too easy. So, you know, I ask for your forbearance and patience as we navigate this together. I think that helps them know that they've been heard, even if I'm not really going to change anything about how I'm teaching it. They know that I've heard their concern and I'm factoring that in, or I can explain why it is we're doing things a certain way. And I also have made some significant changes in response to feedback I've gotten. So I'll have students say, you know, we really like I had students say last year, she always apologizes when she has to lecture, but actually I like the lectures. And so I stopped apologizing for it. I always felt like, sorry you guys, I'm going to talk for this whole hour, you know, next time we'll have more discussion. But they didn't mind, and that was interesting feedback. So you can do that in a variety of different ways.